question is, how do I get done all the things that I want to get done without running out of time, energy, or money? Because the problem that most high capacity people like myself face all the time is that our capacity, i.e. our energy, our time, our money, isn't always equal to, definitely not always greater than, the things that we're trying to get done, i.e. we're doing too much. I remembered the time when my life, which really was the majority of my adulthood, I recently figured out how to not do this. And so I'm going to share that part with you too. But remembering just how long I lived in my adulthood with literally doing the most and running myself into the ground is not the life that we want to live, because it actually results in constant dissatisfaction and imposter syndrome and the thought of I'm not enough, because you never can do enough in your mind, right? And that's the story that ends up getting reinforced. So for me, I was a community organizer for at least 3 to 4 years, working in a nonprofit, doing tremendous work. I was also sitting on leadership boards for other organizations. I had no children at the time. I had no husband at the time. I absolutely had no hobbies. So I literally gave all that was within me to my work, okay? And what that looked like for me was building up other people, building up other organizations, trying to change the world, i.e. by trying to get other people in other systems to do right. Well, if you haven't figured out yet, we can't control other people, guys. I know, we really should stop. But I didn't know that then, but I learned it because I had built all of my self-image and my validation and all of the good work, but I built it on other people in the sense of I'm relying on you people at work, or you people in the community, or you people in my family to be a certain type of way that then I look back at myself and say, oh, I did a good job, right? Because somehow we make what other people do mean something about us. Yeah, I learned that lesson real quick. That's a fast path to burnout. Trust and believe. So anyway, funny thing is, people were not doing what I needed them to do. In fact, they did like the opposite in every area of my life. And so what started to happen is like this sense of identity started to literally crumble around me. And I was like, this is not how I can live. I cannot keep this up. If I'm expected to be trying to live until I'm 90 or 100, I need a different formula because the math ain't math. So this is what I realized. I said, okay, I can't control other people. I should not try to control other people, but I do have power and dominion to control a person, me. Okay, so if I want to actually get her to do what I want her to do, which by the way, I was not, okay, how hard is it to get us just to do what the hell we need us to do? All right, so if I need to do that, how do I actually do that? Right? This all goes back into this idea of being able to get done the things that are important without running ourselves into the ground, because we need to be able to, one, recognize where there is imbalance in ourselves and our lives. We have to, two, decide that we're ready to correct it and that we are going to do it. And then we have to actually do it, right? We have to engage in the actions and the habits to regain balance. So what did that look like for me? Specifically, I learned to shift my own relationship with time, with my own energy, with how I related to my money, and definitely how I related to other people and boundaries. And I was also able to shift my relationship with what I chose to do, i.e. prioritizing the things that I said no to, the things that I said yes to. What did that actually look like? Because in the way that my body was set up, the way that my routine was set up, even after I had kids and a husband, I was still doing the most at work, in the community, for everyone else. And then I would go to sleep exhausted, wake up more exhausted and just not be able to ever seem to get my arms around my to-do list. I just couldn't get it done. And so the way that I shifted my relationship with my energy, first of all, is really recognizing the changes that needed to happen in my sleep cycle, recognizing the changes that needed to happen with what I was putting in my body, how I was moving my body. And by the way, there was a lot of mental gymnastics that I had to do to like reprogram the stories that kept me from waking up early, that kept me from wanting to move my body, that definitely kept me from wanting to try to like eat differently. But I was able to do all of that and to create what I call these guardrails, right? Like these boundaries around how I show up and how I move so that I can make sure that I'm getting enough energy at night. I'm turning my brain off when it needs to be turned off. I'm kicking it in, I'm turning it on in the morning and doing what I need to do. And I am at a space where I finally have a sense of autonomy, where I know, I am confident, I don't just believe it, but I am confident that I get done everything that needs to get done. That's important. That's priority. And I do it in a way that feels good. I have a sense of satisfaction where before, when I'm running and I'm projecting my sense of change externally instead of internally, it really led to a lot of dissatisfaction. It really led to a lot of imposter syndrome because it was never enough. I was never enough. I could never do enough. But the opposite is my reality now, right? Where I can actually be satisfied and be present in each moment to get the value that is there for me. And I also feel a sense of connectedness, both internally to my spirit, but also externally to the relationships that I do have now because the shifting of that. So I break down literally the formulas, the how-tos, the guides in my Build Without Burnout program. But all you need to know, what you can do literally today is recognize, is there imbalance? Are you running yourself into the ground, i.e. doing too much because your capacity is less than all of the things that you're trying to do? If so, decide that you're ready to change it. And if so, the simple answer is this. The energy, the things that bring you energy, increase those things. The things that suck your energy, decrease those things. The way you sleep, the way you eat, those are examples, okay? The relationships you have with people and boundaries, there's ways to do that. And that's really all it is. It's a pretty simple formula. If you struggle, though, with the how to execute, if you struggle with, I've tried these things, but they haven't really worked for me, I got you. Check out the link below. I want you to check out my Build Without Burnout program and know that this is real. It is possible to both get done everything that you want to get done in life without burning yourself out or running yourself into the ground and being able to be present along the way. Can't wait to show you how. Peace.